So they're really weak in terms of their openers.
Left-handers union with Justin Langer there, Rishabh Pant, Nicky P, David Miller, the names go on.
I sound like a broken record, but Mitchell Marsh is arguably one of the worst buys I've seen.
They have 5 who would be backups in every single team. That to you just sums up.
Right, let's go Lucknow and in the Ikana then. Dan, over to you. Instantly, what are you thinking? LSG.
I really have a lot of issues with their recruitment, actually, and I probably consistently have over the last period of cycle. Really, I just don't really get it. Look, first of all, they've signed too many players who like playing in this batting in the same position. They've just literally bought in quite a rogue purchase, you would say, in Matthew Bretsky, the South African top order batter. But I think actually he might end up playing because otherwise they've not really got that many openers or any proven quality openers to play that role. They've got a lot of sort of 4-5s and stuff like that, what I would call like a lot of batters who want to bat in that particular role. And obviously they can't all do that. And the backup players that they've bought who potentially could you would look at them as potential first team options. They can't get in because they've got other players blocking them as well. So they're really weak in terms of their openers. They're another team who I think have got a lot of number 10s and 11s with their bowling, which could, even with an impact sub, is not going to be easy to balance. I think they overpaid for a few players. I still don't understand David Miller, who will be 36 at the start of, or towards the IPL next year. Over a 3-year cycle, I don't get it. I don't get Marsh. I don't get Markram at the moment either, really. I'm not really sold even on Shamar Joseph, who I think has got a lot to prove in the shortest format. They've redeemed themselves a little bit with a couple of young pickups right at the end. Arshin Kulkarni which recently is someone that I have high hopes for. But even with a Rishabh Pant, they spend a lot of money on him. Even with him in their team, Puran, I mean, those two are going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, and their bowlers are going to have to stay. Their pace bowlers are going to have to stay fit for them to have any realistic chance.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about it and joking with Akshay in the watch along throughout, saying left-handers union with Justin Langer there, Rishabh Pant, Nicky P, David Miller, the names go on. But just a quick word on you for Rishabh Pant, the most expensive man now on the planet in terms of IPL cricket, 27 crore. First of all, was that price vindicated according to you? And obviously only time will tell whether he'll be an upgrade in terms of doing what Rahul did for the franchise. And it's funny that Rahul's gone the other way. So how did you kind of react when Pant sold 27 crore to LSG happened? What was your initial thoughts?
Look, I thought that he would be the most expensive player in the auction. I said this on another podcast recently, or my own podcast, which is you can get on a Spotify Strike Rate, the Cricket Analytics podcast. I thought that he would have about a 90% chance of being the highest priced player at the auction. And so it proved just about. And I think as soon as Shreyas Iyer went for that sort of money, that it was kind of likely that would be the case of Rishabh Pant. And obviously, some people on social media made the point that Rishabh Pant, numbers wise, you wouldn't necessarily pay that. But I think the package that he brings, you can understand why teams look to spend that type of money on a Rishabh Pant. On a Shreyas Iyer, on a Venkatesh Iyer, I'm not really so sure, but you can understand why they did it, even though I think it was a shade on the expensive side.
Okay, interesting thoughts there, because like I was going to play devil's advocate to Akshay next and Nix in terms of Pant and the T20 numbers. So you brought it up right now. Akshay, I'll come to you on LSG because you were baffled at some of their picks during the auction watch long, and understandably so, because we were like, where are they going with this? Because their conditions are saying something, their picks are suggesting something else. But now, again, with what they've managed to do in the last couple of hours, in the dying embers of this auction, does it give you any sort of confidence heading into the season? Or do you think, again, you're penning them down as bottom 3, bottom 4? It's that bad already?
No, it's definitely not that bad. They did get their retentions fairly bang on that way. So given that they already were, they started off with a nice little lead. So it would take a massive fuck up from them to really go back on that. But in terms of some of their buys, I've been just I sound like a broken record, but Mitchell Marsh is arguably one of the worst buys I've seen simply because of the conditions. Like, how Lucknow works, what the ground on offer is, Mitchell Marsh, what he struggles. It's almost cricketing 101 in my, at least that's how it worked in my head. Markram, I could still understand base price pick. He's a more than decent overseas player of spin. That's not necessarily a very sort of popular. That's not very easily available. I know he's not necessarily lit up the IPL, but there's still that option. And so not the worst. You can at least have him as a backup opening choice and all of that. Mitchell Marsh did not make any sense whatsoever. And then just their sort of love for pacers and the way they just kept going after pacers one after the other. It was very bizarre, and they got quite a few pacers. Of course, on day two, they've sort of tried to make up for it by going after a lot of spinners, including a couple of whom I genuinely wanted to see getting IPL gigs. So I'm happy about that. There's, of course, Zishan Ansari, who went to SRH, if I'm not wrong, but they also placed a bid. Digvej Singh came over here. There's Arshan Kulkarni, who's got in a bid. There's Manimaran Siddharth, who's come back over here. There's Prince Yadav as well. So, all in all, not the worst squads, but when I look at the 11, it seems, again, it does not necessarily inspire a lot of confidence. Also because I wanted Ayush Badoni to be given a proper 14-match season at number 3. If you guys saw the last season or the first season of DPL, the guy's so comfortable against high pace. The guy's so comfortable against spin. It's almost criminal that LSG haven't used him well or have tried to make a finisher out of him. I hope he gets that. But now with this Rishabh Pant buy, I'm expecting Rishabh Pant to start at number 3. Their opening, I'm not entirely sure who exactly are they going to go ahead with. I don't want them to start with Mitchell Marsh, but they don't have too many other options. Overseas, they went for Matthew Beetsker. There's the Durban Super Giants connection, so I can see why they might have gone for him. But again, starting 11 of an IPL side, I'm not sure he's there yet. So for the time being, I'm going ahead with Arshan Kulkarni / Aryan Joel. Aryan Joel, I like him. He's done more than decently in the domestic on the domestic circuit in the recent past. So one of them to be paired with Aiden Markram. One down, I have Rishabh Pant. Then at number 4, I've got number 3 Rishabh Pant, number 4 Ayush Badoni, number 5 Puran, number 6 Miller, number 7 Abdul Samad, number 8 Shahbaz Ahmed, number 9 Ravi Bishnoi, number 10 Mohsin Khan, number 11 Avesh Khan, and impact player Mayank Yadav. I've gone ahead with this only because Shahbaz Ahmed at number 8 offers a nice batting option. But of course, his spin bowling is not exactly the greatest. To be honest, in T20s, I consider him more of a batting all-rounder. But this 11 has only 2 proper spin options, and then there's Aiden Markram. Given Ekana, so to put numbers into context, Ekana was the 3rd slowest surface in IPL 2024. Spinners enjoyed bowling in Ekana. They had the 3rd best average and the 3rd best balls per dismissal. Again, only behind Delhi and Chandigarh, Mullapur Chandigarh and Chepauk Chennai on both counts. So clearly spinners enjoy their time there, which means you would imagine LSG would go for a lot more first 11 options. They've gone ahead with a lot of domestic picks, but I don't know if they will start with them. So it only remains to be seen if they do that. This is the only way where I felt they could sort of get in a bit of batting depth and also ensure they're not losing out on too many first 11 bowling options. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at when it comes to LSG.
Yeah, one of the spinners who played for them earlier last year was Manimaran Siddharth. So who knows? But he's not part of Akshay's 11. But again, good bench options and good summation of LSG, Akshay. I would also like to ask you how you'd see them finish in IPL 25 really quickly.
I'll peg them bottom half, man, especially after having seen how Justin Langer works. You'll need a very good team and a very good team in general to be able to overcome Justin Langer. If anything, I think LSD do what they do despite Justin Langer, not because of Justin Langer. That's how it works for me. So I'm not a very big fan of the guy in this format. So I bottom half for sure. I'll actually say 8th. I'll say 8th.
Okay, interesting. Justin Langer, I feel has a couple of battles to just overcome in that squad. You look at how Punter was with Pant. Now it's another Australian with Pant. And who knows if it's going to be JL and boys picking up the points there. Nix and Dan, just to round up the LSG chat, how do they do according to you in terms of your auction rating? Dan, I'll start with you. And where do you think they'll finish?
Auction rating 3, 4, maybe, if I'm being generous. I just don't see it at all. I think they've wasted a lot of money on mediocre players. In terms of where they finish, look, you can't write off any team that has Rishabh Pant, Nicholas Puran, Mayank Yadav. Like anyone who writes that team off is crazy. But those 3 players are going to have to do so much for them for them to have any chance. They're going to have to win matches almost between the 3 of them. I can't see it happening. I'm not writing them off. I will write no team off, but I think they're going to really struggle to get 8 wins. I can't see them getting more than 6, really, to be honest with you, at the most. So, 7th to 10th would be kind of my broad prediction.
Nikhil, do you echo those thoughts from Dan about the Power Pant boys, not the Powerpuff girls?
I mean, there was a reason why I wanted to hear about Lucknow, because I genuinely felt if you look at their overseas guys, they have 6 of them. And only 1 of them would start in every team. They have 5 who would be backups in every single team. That too, you just sums up how weird those purchases are. And unless they turn around Ekana into a batting beauty where the ball comes gun barrel straight, I think it will be difficult for them to even churn out wins at home. So good luck to LSG. I agree with Dan's rating. It should just be the number of match winners that they have. That is 2. Because that's also the number of injury-prone bowlers that they have. That is 2 who they retain. So, as much as I want to hype them up, it's just you just can't figure them doing well at that kind of surface. So, it will really need something special to turn this around for them.
Okay, super Giants, I should say.